Today's recording is an out and about episode because I just dropped my in laws off at the airport and I figured I'd make a quick recording before I head back home. For those of you who've been listening to the previous episodes, you would know that I was away for close to 2 weeks. We traveled back to the homestead, got to see grandma, all the uncles and aunties, and everyone. And it was a fun visit, and it's nice that at least once in a while we're able to get together with family and get to know each other, build relationships, reinforce relationships, and those sorts of things. Anyway, so it's been a fun holiday for me. I hope it's been a fun holiday for you guys. Today is Saturday, the 30th of December, and pretty soon, in another 4 or 5 days, everybody is going to have to be full tilt back at work. And so, this is me resuming my work for the new year. As we're cruising into 2024. So, like I said, today's an out and about recording. Expect to hear noise, people in the background, planes taking off, taxis driving by, those sorts of things. Okay, so now that the intro is out of the way, what we're going to be tackling today on the podcast is LinkedIn outreach. And I'm trying to get you guys to understand, or rather, I'm trying to get some of you to understand how you can sell better on LinkedIn using real life scenarios that I receive in my inbox. The reason why I've done loads of these sorts of tear downs over this year in 2023, and I'm going to be doing much more of them in 2024, is because a lot of you, rightfully so, want to sell and improve your businesses by being on LinkedIn, but I think a lot of you are going about it the wrong way or doing it in ineffective ways. So today is going to be me running through one of those scenarios and with suggestions at the end about how we can improve our LinkedIn outreach. That's for those of you who use LinkedIn to actively look for customers or look for ways to promote your business. So there's a LinkedIn direct message that I received, and the one that I'm going to use an example today, I'm just going to read it out and then I'm going to make comments along the way. So this is how it started. It said, "Hey, Tavishima." Now, at this point, I think it's a good idea that the person did a little bit of research and the person got my name, because most people, when they're trying to reach out to someone else on LinkedIn and trying to reach out to me on LinkedIn, they start off by saying, "Hey," or "Hi," or "Good morning, Sales for the Nigerian Business Person podcast." Now, when you start off an email that way, in this case, saying, "Hey, Sales for the Nigerian Business Person podcast," or "Good morning, Sales for the Nigerian Business Person podcast," it shows that you haven't done any bit of research. This is most likely a blanketed message, something that hasn't had much thought go through it. And it's at this point that you start losing people, and people just ignore the message. So let's say you're trying to reach out to someone, and the person is the head of, let's say, Orange Foods Nigeria Limited or something like that. So if you start off the message in LinkedIn by saying, "Hey, Orange Foods Nigeria Limited," or "Good morning, Orange Food Nigeria Limited," you've lost the person. You can do a little bit of research just by clicking on the Orange Nigeria Food page to have a look and see who the CEO is, or who the head of sales is, or who the procurement officer is, that sort of thing. You can do some basic research like that on LinkedIn, or maybe even from the company's Facebook page, and you can get a name so that you can send a message that says, "Hi, Victoria. Good morning, Kelechi. Hello, Maria," something like that. So it's much more effective. You're going to personalize the outreach. So I give this guy top marks because at least he got my name. Unlike most people who would just say, "Hello, Sales for the Nigerian Business Person podcast." Okay, now the rest of the message read thus. So he started off, "Hey, Tavishima. Imagine having the power to command high ticket sales like a pro, with soaring income as your reward." Now, I'm going to give this person marks again because the person is trying to spark interest. But I think it is better off to start your email with your leading question about the problem you're trying to solve. And it just gets people to the root of what it is you're trying to do faster. Because not everybody is going to read your preamble. I'm reading the preamble because I'm curious as a sales professional. I'm trying to figure out what is the most effective way for people to sell on LinkedIn. I'm using this as a case study. This is the reason why I'm reading this. let's not be surprised that if we start off our messaging on email or LinkedIn and we start with a long preamble, let's not be surprised that we just lose people in the preamble. So lead off with. I think it's better off to lead off with a problem question because not everybody is going to read absolutely every single word of your email. Apart from that, a question stands out when people are skimming your message. So instead of saying, "Hey Tavishima, imagine having the power to command high ticket sales like a pro with soaring income as your reward," how about saying something like, "Hey Tavishima, do you wish you were better at handling high ticket sales?" Question mark. So you started off, it's two paragraphs. You've gotten straight to the point of what it is you're trying to do, or rather, you've hinted at what it is you're trying to do. There's a question, and there's an incentive for me to respond because when you're doing LinkedIn, email, these sorts of things, if you put a question there, most people have the natural, what's it called? The natural habit to respond to questions instead of starting off with a long preamble. So let's start again from the top. What the actual messaging was. Hey Tavishima, imagine having the power to command high ticket sales like a pro with soaring income as your reward. If you're hungry for that kind of success, I've got something special for you. It's a free copy of our Mastering High Ticket Sales workbook. Okay, now pause there. Okay, he got to the point quickly. I still think the preamble is too long and that he should have started off with a problem question. And another thing that I've said on the show repeatedly, and I'm going to point it out today, is this should actually be the subject of another email or a second email. Instead, he's trying to cram everything into the email, and this makes the email become long and cluttered. And then you're also giving out too many calls to action. In the first paragraph, you've asked a question. In the second paragraph, you're inputting a call to action. And these are the kinds of things that confound the reader. Because if you put one call to action and two questions in the email, what exactly is the person supposed to respond to? If you took my approach and you started off, you gave a relevant greeting, and then you asked the problem question and you left that as email number one, it's a simple email. The person looks at the email or looks at the LinkedIn message, and the person knows that, okay, all I have to do is respond to this question or ignore because it's not relevant or whatever. It's not lengthy, it's not worthy. The call, wordy, sorry, rather, too many words. The call to actions are simple, and so the reader knows exactly what to do after he or she reads the email. So, my suggestion is this second paragraph should actually be a second email only if the person answers yes to the first question posed in number one about high ticket sales. It's only then that the person has said yes and you know that the person is interested that you can now say, "Here's a free copy of our workbook to help you with that problem. Download it by tapping on the link below." And now you can see that the second email has only one call to action. Email number one has one question. The person answers, you know that they are interested. Email number two has only one call to action. The person responds by downloading, you know that the person is further interested. Okay, so now let me go back to the top. Let's read what the person actually said. Okay, so hey Tavishima, imagine having the power to command high ticket sales like a pro with soaring income as your reward. If you're hungry for that kind of success, I've got something special for you. It's a free copy of our Mastering High Ticket Sales workbook. To grab your copy and start your journey to high ticket sales mastery, just reply with yes or a thumbs up. Okay, now, okay, let me give a comment here. Okay, so on the face of it, this message, I also suspect that he would send this as an email to other people. It's not just LinkedIn outreach. So it's well crafted and he doesn't take too much time. He gets straight to the point, even though I think it could have been shorter. But I don't think this could have been. This didn't have to be two paragraphs because people don't really read anymore. People just skim through the message, and so make it easier for your message to stand out while the audience is skimming. I guess that's why I'm going on and on about this thing of keeping your emails short, keeping your LinkedIn outreach short, and keeping things to one call to action, keeping things to one simple paragraph. Now, the whole idea behind it is this. I know that you think you're trying to sell on LinkedIn, you don't have much time, so you're trying to cram as many things as possible. What you should be aiming for is engagement and little bits of traction that shows you whether you're on the right path or not. That is why this multiple message approach actually I think is best. If you start off by trying to figure out are they interested, they reply yes. The next thing you send your the valuable thing in this case, the workbook they downloaded, it shows that they're also interested as well. It shows that you're getting traction and that you're moving forward in this business relationship. You cram lots of stuff into the email, I guarantee you people skim and they think, okay, maybe that's interesting, I'll get back to that later. There are multiple calls to action, they don't respond to anything, and you just lose lots of people in that process. So I know that what I'm suggesting is a little bit more work, but I really think we should take the time to slow things down. Yes, it might be more work, but with the engagement going up, the chances of closing the sale would also go up as well. Okay, so he put the person signed off with another paragraph, and this was the final paragraph. If this is not your thing, no worries at all. I'm here to help you share your top priority for leveling up in your business career, and let's make it happen together. So, in my own opinion, I think this sounds like a weasel out. Okay, let me read it in the context so you see how everything flows. Okay, don't worry, this will be the last time. I'm sure it's getting repetitive, me reading it over and over. Okay, so, hey Tavishima, imagine having the power to command high ticket sales like a pro with soaring income as your reward. If you're hungry for that kind of success, I've got something special for you. It's a free copy of our Mastering High Ticket Sales workbook. To grab your copy and start your journey to high ticket sales mastery, just reply with yes or a thumbs up. And if it's not your thing, no worries at all. I'm here to help you if you share your top priority for leveling up in your business career, and let's make it happen together. Now, that final paragraph, for me, I think it's a weasel out. And I don't think it's a good idea to weasel out like that. I think you can be much more direct about the whole thing. So, instead of trying to cram all of this in one email, why not schedule a follow up on email number 3 and then ask questions to get a sense of why no one is taking advantage of your free offer for sales resources? So, okay, so in my own opinion, email number 1, appropriate greeting with a question to see if they are interested. Short and sweet, 2 paragraphs max. The person responds, yes, they're interested. Then the email number 2 would be, here is our free, what's he offering here? Workbook. Email number 2 would be, here's here's our workbook, downloaded by following this link. Now, I'm assuming that if you're involved in this kind of business on the back end, you have the tech to be able to figure out whether the person downloaded or not. Now, instead of putting a weaseling out paragraph, email number 3 should now be following up to find out, did the person download? What did they find insightful? What most applies to their business? Or asking, they indicated in email 1 that they were interested, but so far they haven't downloaded. And then you ask the person why. It's okay to be direct about these sorts of things. You don't have to weasel out. So long as you are being polite at every step of the process, being direct is not going to be a problem. So there's no need putting all these weaseling out paragraphs because you're afraid you don't want to offend somebody. As long as you're polite at every single step of the way, it'll be fine. So, bottom line, what this person crafted was good, was not bad, well written, but I think he tried to cram too much. So this is my recommendation, and this is my shorter version, just in case there are those of you listening to today's episode who don't quite get the point that I'm making. So if it were me handling this account, this is how I would have done it. I would have sent email number 1, and email number 1 would have been this: hey Tavishima, do you wish you were better at handling high ticket sales? Question mark. And then I would hit send. That is it. That is my email number 1. Now, this is what is going to happen. Most people are going to ignore this email because, let's be frank, not everybody needs what you have. Not everybody wants what you are offering. So be okay with the fact that you send this email and maybe 80% of people are going to ignore. Because, you don't know the future. None of us have a crystal ball to tell us who the perfect prospect is, the perfect candidate for our business. If we did, we would all be millionaires, but we're not. So be comfortable with the fact that lots of people are going to ignore. That's just how it is in business. If I sell oranges, okay, right now I'm at the airport car park. If I sell oranges, and the oranges are nice and juicy, and I know that they're the best tasting oranges in Abuja ever, or the most tastiest oranges ever made. The truth of the matter is, right now, not everybody is in the mood for oranges. You have to be okay with the fact that you're going to walk through the airport. Okay, no, they won't let you into the airport lounge. You walk through the airport car park and wherever, and most of the people are not going to be in the mood for oranges. That's just how business is. So be comfortable with the fact that lots of people are going to ignore you. It just means we have to get better at prospecting, looking for the ideal people that we have to reach out to, and then the level of engagement that we get is going to go up. It's possible that working with oranges at the airport car park, maybe it's not a good idea because people in the airport are maybe they're nervous, maybe they're stressed, or maybe people at the airport are really hungry because they had to wake up early or something like that, and so an orange is not going to cut it. Maybe meat pie or something like that. Well, anyway, I'm sure you guys get the gist. So for me, that would be email number one. Hey Tabishima, do you wish you were better at handling high ticket sales? Send. Question mark. Most people are going to ignore. Don't worry about the people who ignore. Don't pay attention to the people who ignore. But what you're going to do is you're going to pay attention to the people who respond and say, yes, I wish I could handle high ticket sales better. So that is what we're looking for. Positive engagement. Forget about the people who ignore. For the people who engage positively, then you follow up with them. Now, in the spirit of what this guy sent out, email number 2 would now be, hey Tabishima, here's a free copy of our workbook to help with that problem. Download the simple PDF by doing XYZ. And then you hit send. Then again, for now, let's ignore the people who don't respond immediately. And then for the people who respond immediately, I'm sure we're going to have much more engagement that is built into the system. That's future emails trying to find out what problems they face in their business, what they learned with the workbook, what they're willing to explore to improve their businesses, those sorts of things. But let us get out of this mindset that you're going to have one magic email that you will send that is going to get you millions of naira. That is not going to happen. Slow down, break this thing up into several emails or several messages with one clear call to action per email or per message, and then you will move things forward. Sending these 5-6 paragraph things on LinkedIn or email with multiple calls to actions, multiple questions, and then you try and weasel out at the end, I really don't think is the most effective way to grow our businesses. So, yeah, that's it pretty much. Well, if I had the time to sit down and go over the whole campaign, I could have been much more specific or maybe offer more better ways of going about it. But limiting myself to the template that this gentleman put in the email. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. We're close to 20 minutes. That was the alarm. Okay, so I guess I should be wrapping up so that we can leave. So anyway, that's it. I guess you guys get the whole point. So it doesn't have to be one message. Split it up, smaller messages, one call to action or one question per message. Focus on those who engage and then follow up with all those folks. So that's all for today, folks. Remember, connect with me on WhatsApp. The number is 080-6466-2140. The country code is +234 for those of you who are hitting me up outside the shores of Nigeria. Also, connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm the host of the podcast. My name is Tabishima Ayede. You can confirm the spelling of my name and email address on the website where you're listening to this episode or the profile of the podcast app where you're currently listening to my voice. So thank you very much for your time and attention. And okay, Saturday, September 30. Okay, so that means loads of us Nigerians anyway will be in the whole crossover 31st night. Okay, no, 31st night. Okay, 31st night will be tomorrow. Okay, well, anyway, you get the point. We're getting to the close of the year. However it is that you're going to cap out the year, whether you're going to cap it out with family or with the Lord, make sure you have a fun one. So I will catch you guys again at the next episode.